Welcome to the Authors on the Air Global Radio Network. I am your host, Tracy Blom, and this is Books, Kids, and Creations, a podcast that features people who inspire and uplift future generations with their work. And I am honored to be here today with no other than the brilliant, uplifting, wonderful Ziggy Marley. Ziggy, thank you so much for being here today.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I wanted to give a brief introduction of who you are. This is just the highlights reel of the decades of work that you've done. But for those that are listening who don't know who you are or want to know more, Ziggy is an 8-time Grammy Award winner, Emmy Award winner, author, philanthropist, and reggae icon. He has released 13 albums to much critical acclaim and is the author of 3 children's books, I Love You Too, My Dog Romeo, The Little Dog John Crow, and his newest book, which I'm very excited to review here. Music is in everything. And I am a huge fan of children's books and people who create them and inspire little ones with their work. So Ziggy, how did this book come to be? Where did the inspiration come from for this?
Well, the inspiration is a song, it's a song on my latest album for children called More Family Time. But the inspiration for the song comes from my childhood, like my imagination being around nature, being around the ocean, and just in my mind hearing things as music. Sometimes, even though it might be a noise, even though it might be a plane or a hum or something, I can pick out music in it. So that's why I said music is in everything, because I hear music in everything I listen to. I think that's because I have a big imagination, and children have a big imagination also. So I feel like they can relate to that idea of music is in everything.
Absolutely. And so, as the child of 2 incredible artists, do you feel like your upbringing played a role in how you see the world and how you perceive nature?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I grew up in Jamaica, and my family, my father is from the countryside. My mother, we used to have animals. We used to live on a farm basically. Um, some of the times, and so we grew up learning to appreciate nature, animals, learning to grow our own food in the garden, and it definitely influenced me. Yeah.
And you also co-created a cookbook with your wife. Is that something that took a long time to create, or is it a culmination of both of your favorite recipes?
Well, it take a long time because we never really think about it until we've been together for a while, and we shared all these different type of foods through our different culture. My wife is Persian, Israeli, I'm Jamaican, and so when we got together, all the food and the culture got mixed up together, and so we've been cooking for a while, and then one day we just kind of say, "Yo, let's make a cookbook," and we just put a cookbook together with our friends, and it's a mixture of recipes, but it's the mixture of the cultures.
That's great. I just ordered a copy of it, and I'm really excited to dive into it. My husband and I started cooking a lot during pandemic. We would order a
Yeah.
cookbook from different countries, one a month. And so we got this huge collection of cookbooks from all over the world.
Nice,
It's beautiful.
nice.
So I wanted to talk about the illustrations for your book.
Hmm.
When you were putting this together, did you get to collaborate with the illustrator on this or have some say?
Yeah, Agjaskowski. Yeah, I
Yeah.
pronounced right, the last name right. Yeah, man. No, yeah, we did some books before with her. We've been doing a lot of books with her. Um, and so we're used to the relationship already, and I'm very hands-on in the stuff. So we talk about the artwork, we talk about the images for each different book. We talk about the clouds, how the clouds supposed to look, how the rain's supposed to look, all the details. And so I'm very involved in that.
You can really tell each illustration feels so magical, and there is I love that, you have the music, you can see the notes just kind of floating in the waves. And
Yeah.
it, as someone who's a huge nature lover,
Yeah.
you can find a lot of inspiration just going and sitting in that
Yeah.
space.
True.
So for you, when excuse me, when you sit down to write, whether
Mm.
it's music or story, do you like to be outside, or do you like keep journals with you? What's your writing process like?
Yeah, it's all over the place. Um, it's never one way. Sometimes I like being outside. Sometimes outside is good. I like being alone. I know I like being alone and writing. And yeah, but I could be anywhere. I could be anywhere as long as it's inside my head. That's where when I'm writing, it's living up here. And I've had experiences that I'm always connected to nature, even if I'm not in nature, because of the experiences that bond me with nature. I can never let those go. So I always can go back to those experiences and be a part of nature, even if I'm not around nature.
Yeah.
So I could be in a building or whatever, but still, the inspiration of nature is with me all the time.
And
Yeah,
feel that you can really feel it in everything that you create. So whether it's your songs and the wording in your lyrics is just so powerful, and you have this messaging, whether it's in written word or saying, um, those types of messages that you put in your songs, is that something that you try to pass down to your children as well?
but it was passed down because the messages in the song as well is how we live a life, right?
Right.
And so it passed on by how we live a life. The examples we set for the kids. That's how it's done because the music is real. It's not like the songs we write is real, isn't it? Is really who we are, and
Mm.
so those messages are passed on through how we live with the children, how we talk to them, how we have experiences with them. Not necessarily through the song, but through just the life experiences that we're having, which help to make the song.
Right. And you do a lot of work with children all over the world. I mean, you're such a busy person. I just saw you on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And then, I was looking at some of the work you do with children all over the world. You have the Urge Foundation. You've done some other work with Little Kids Rock, supporting, giving
Yeah,
instruments to kids.
yeah,
How do you stay grounded with all that you have going on?
yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, I guess I'm stay grounded by always. I don't know. I mean, always knowing my place. Always knowing my place as a listener, as a learner. As a student, I'm a student forever. I'm always learning. Um, and a part of who I am is grounded. So I'm already prone to be grounded because a part of me, that's how I'm built.
Yeah,
From I was born, this is who I am. So I already have that going for me. I just
right.
have to make sure I stay that way.
Right, yeah, yeah. I mean, because you wonder how, with so much in your life and you're so busy, I thought, how does he do it? How does he do it all? But
The state of mind really in accepting things in accepting, in not fighting against the universe, in not you're going with, instead of you fighting, like a rip current in the ocean.
mhm.
You can't fight the rip current, you have to go with it.
Yeah,
And then you come out on the other side. So it's kind of that. I think that's a good analogy. I'm not fighting the rip current. I'm kind of going with it, and then I get out on the other side of it, very very nice and very happy. You know.
yeah, yeah. And with the More Family Time CD or album that you just put out in 2020,
Mm.
do you have another album in the works? Are you constantly working on new projects and new songs?
Yeah, for tell the truth, that album wasn't even in the works. It just kind of happened out of a whim. So usually I'm writing songs, but nothing is ever in the works until something sparks it, you know. There's something that always sparks it, and then you find out it's the right thing to do at the right time, and it works out in that way. But yeah, I'm never like I'm gonna work on a project now. I'm always creating. Creativity is always going, but I never set it in my mind as I'm working on a project. It's just creating, and then if a project comes up out of that creation, then I will find it, or it will find me.
That's right.
But,
It'll
you know,
find
yeah,
you. It'll
yeah,
find you. That's how I think some of the best creators create, out of that spark of it finds you, and you're not creating for any other reason, really, just to out of sheer enjoyment for what it is and what it can maybe bring to other people in the world. And that's one of the things I love about your work so much, is what it gives to the world. Yeah.
yeah, man.
So I guess the other thing I wanted to talk with you about is your involvement with the environment. I know you're very passionate about the environment. Do you have any projects in the works right now for, I think you were doing something with the Amazon rainforest and giving back to protecting the rainforest?
Those actions are fine, but I'm trying to do things in my everyday life too. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Giving
right.
to charities and doing all that stuff is good, but it's the everyday life that's gonna make the real impact. And so and the first thing is to be conscious of it. Is to be aware that we can do better, aware that we're doing something wrong, and willing to change that direction. So in my life, I pay attention to like the plastics and stuff I use. If I don't have to buy something in plastic, I won't do that. So it's on the top of my mind. It's not yeah, it's really on the top of my mind. And sometimes I feel guilty if I have something I'm like like so I'm very critical of myself in that way. Sometimes we're not perfect, but trust me, we always I try to do our best, when it comes to that, and it's always a part of my stream of thought. And the environment never leaves my stream of thought in whatever I do. It's always like, man, you could have done that better. Why you do it like that? Or you do it like this. It's like, it's something that I consider every day of my life. When I turning on the water, all right, can't wait too long for you. Yeah, I need to go use. If I'm turning on the water, let's go use the water. Don't leave the water running. Same thing with my kids, stuff like that. The everyday things. Turn off the lights, saving the energy. You know, the everyday thing is what really is on my consciousness continuously. So we're trying to live the right way.
Right. Yeah. And I think if more people thought that way, then it would make a larger difference too.
Yeah, man. We just have to be like, we have to be like, humble, grounded enough to like put these things as priorities in our lives. It's a
Yeah.
part of the priorities. Like everything else is a part of the priorities.
Yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
live kind of out in the country, and so I'm always composting and
Yeah, 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 yeah.
full of all the things that I
Yeah.
do,
Yeah,
and
man. We do some composting too.
yeah, oh yeah, all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I just love both of these books, and I'm so excited that I was able to share these. Are you doing any kind of programs with kids in schools where you're sharing these books?
Yeah, we did something at the Grammar Museum for kids. And we've been doing readings all over the country when I travel. Sometimes we go to kids' libraries. Sometimes we work with independent foundations that focus on kids, and we go read. And so it's a continuous thing we're doing. Um, Schools and community centers and parks and whatever. Zoos, we read at the zoos where the kids come, and
Oh, that's fun.
wherever kids are, we do some reading for them sometime.
Yeah, and they're so much fun to read to. I do some author visits from time to time, and they always have really fun questions.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
I'm so amazed about creating. And I think, I mean, even in the back of your book here, you have these instructions for how to make the shakers and stuff. And
Yeah.
I could see how these would be lots of fun for kids to do.
Yeah, man. Kids and the whole family, enjoy it.
So are you making any plans for future books right now? Or do you have any new books you're working on?
No, I have some ideas, but nothing. That's all ideas swirling. Still nothing concrete yet, you know.
Yeah.
But there's always something coming, you know.
Yes. I hear you on that. That's how I think a lot of authors are, where they always have kind of these ideas that come in, and then like the third time it hits you, you're like, okay, fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you ever get any of your ideas or inspiration in dreams or anything like that, or during meditation, or?
Yeah, man, dreams. I'm a dreamer, you know. So I always get stuff from in dreams. You know, the mind is open, so I believe in the dream space. You know, I believe in the dream space as another reality. You know, where we experience things, and so yeah, I've done that. I will continue to do it.
Yeah, I'm always just curious of, I've only ever met a couple other authors that say that their ideas come in dreams, and so I'm always curious to see if there's any others out there.
Not every idea, but you know, some ideas.
Yeah. Ziggy, I'm so thrilled that I got to speak with you today, and I feel like you've just done so much in your life that, I mean, even just looking at all of your accomplishments and everything that you continue to do, it's just hard to even capture it all. I mean, you have to just feel so proud of yourself for everything that you've done.
Yeah. No, not really.
No, well, that's probably
No, I don't say I'm not proud. I mean, listen. At least when I think about these things, I mean, I'm happy with the person I am as a human being.
Yeah.
I think that's my first, like, if I'm gonna have pride, it's gonna be pride about how I think as a human being, how I am as a human being, how I know what I know of myself. I don't think it's about the things I've done or whatever that, you know. I think, yeah, I feel like I'm a good human being, and that I can be proud of, you know. Like, I know that. I know.
Yeah.
I know I'm a good human being, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm very happy about that.
Yeah. I always ask everybody who comes on the show what advice they have for future generations, and that can be as an artist, as a creator, as just a human.
Yeah, the advice for future generations is the same advice, really. I mean, there's different advice you could give, you know. Some in a lot of words. But the one advice really is I would give. It's so simple. It's kind of simplistic. It's just love, you know. Love is the advice. Love. Future generation. Love is the advice. It's kind of simplistic, but think of the best advice that. I mean, you know, a little bit. Yeah.
Well, it's simple, but it's very powerful. And
Yeah.
if everybody genuinely loved everything and everyone, I think the world would be a better place.
So beautiful. It would be so beautiful.
Yeah.
It would be so beautiful.
One day.
Yeah.
Well, Ziggy, I'm so excited to have gotten the opportunity to speak with you, and we will post links to your beautiful books at the end of the interview. And for anybody who would like to check out your website, we'll post that here as well. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day and being a guest on Books, Kids, and Creations.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Hope we'll see you again, yeah?
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Music is in everything. Listen to the ocean sing. Music is in everything.